So there's no right or wrong way to practice breath work and connecting to the body, but I do want to get a bit of a temperature check of the room, a bit of a show of hands. Who feels any different now than what you did 2 minutes ago? Okay. So that is free. That is available for you at any point in your life. And I think, we laughed because it was free. And that takes about 2 minutes of our time. And so I really highly encourage you to practice that. Through all the work that I do and all the exercises I give people, I will say, particularly for busy executives, that's the one that people can anchor onto. And I think part of it is it gives our mind something to focus on as well. So it's kind of twofold. But physiologically, why this works, what this actually does, when we inhale, we activate what's called the sympathetic nervous system. This is that fight-flight response, the gas pedal, the on. Yeah, this is a stress response in the body. And when we exhale, we activate what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. This is that rest, digest, relax, also the off, yeah? And when we manage our breath like that, it kind of balances the two out, so we come into the center. But for most people I know, including me, we probably lean a little heavy into the left, yeah? We're probably a little bit more in that activated state. And so today I want to show you the importance of and how to get ourselves to the right. And I think the best way to understand and to explain the autonomic nervous system, and really to explain anything, is via story. So I'm going to invite you to come on a little journey with me, and a journey back in time, all the way to when we were prehistoric humans. So back in the day, for most of our time, for most of our life, we would be doing not very much. We would be resting, we would be digesting, maybe communicating with our peers. If you have a cat, this is the state that you're in, yeah? And this is the parasympathetic nervous system. This is where we have no worries in the world, and we're nice and relaxed. Human beings were designed to live in this state for most of our life. And what would happen is, very rarely, and always, for short bursts of time, we would see something out the corner of our eye, or we would hear something, and our body would go, there might be danger. And what would happen? Our heart rate would elevate, our pupils would dilate, we would get this charge of energy, we would get adrenaline and cortisol running through our systems, we would clench our fists, and we would get this huge burst of mobilized energy, sympathetic nervous system. This was designed for one reason, to keep us alive in battle. And if there was a danger, if there was an enemy, we would actually go into battle. And what would happen is we would run towards the enemy to get them out of our campsite, to run away from the enemy if we don't think we can beat them, run towards the food because we need to eat that night for dinner, or run away from the thing that thinks we're food. And then, if we lost the battle, end of story, but if we won the battle, hopefully we did, we would do this thing where we would sing, we would dance, we would chant, we would come back in community and cook the boar that we found. And this is relevant, and I'll bring this up later. What that does is bring us back in to the parasympathetic nervous system. So we have the stress on, and then the parasympathetic off, relax. Why am I telling you this? Why on earth is this relevant when we're not being chased by tigers? Well, neurobiologically, the body cannot tell the difference between psychological, emotional, and physical stress. We can't even tell the difference between real and imagined. So that email that you got, and then the other one, and then the other one, you are face-to-face with a saber-toothed tiger, according to your body. When we were stuck in traffic and we were late and it was a really important meeting, face-to-face with a saber-toothed tiger. That meeting that you were dreading, that actually ended up being the best meeting of your life, and you got a promotion in that meeting for those 3 days leading up to it, face-to-face with a saber-toothed tiger. And the results of this thing that was designed to be an acute stress response, this saber-toothed tiger has turned into a living metaphorical tiger. And the results of us living with metaphorical tigers all around us is this. This stress response that was designed to be acute for short bursts of time, we are now living in it. And so I'm sure as we look at these, a couple of people might go, that's familiar, uh-huh. I'm going to come back to this slide, but I just want to check in. I want to see a show of hands. Who's experienced one or more of these this last year? Okay. If your hand is down, please come see me after. I want to know what you do, because mine were. Keep your hands up. 3 or more. 5 or more. My hand's still up. 7 or more. Okay, so most of our hands are still up. So unfortunately, this is helpful information, but unfortunately, I cannot remove your external stresses. I can't do that for you. I can't convince your boss to give you a 3-day work week or your children to kind of relax and just do as they're told. But what I can do, which is most of our stress, we know that. But what I can do, and what I'm attempting to do today, and I'm deeply passionate about, is I can start to assist in some tools in how to work with the stress response itself in our physiological body.